friends make or break you, honestly. And it's like I had to learn to leave certain people in certain places. Yep. And it's not like I'm better than you or you better than me. It's just like we just not on the same type of time, and I hope your time work for you, but I gotta value my time to do what works for me.
Welcome back. Welcome back. We are here on the Playmaker Podcast Network with your host, myself, Infeek We Trust. And yes, we are back. This is season 2. Sorry for the wait, but life be lifing, man. I'm sorry for the wait. Life be lifing, man. So today we got a very special guest. Call this man a friend. I admire him. Not even gonna lie to you. Everything he's doing, I love to see a man, or just people in general, kill their dreams. I mean, not kill their dreams, but fulfill their dreams, take that next step in life, and still keep that balance with their family and just moral compass. My man Baysmore, welcome. What's going on, my guy?
Thank you for having me. Going well.
Of course. So tell us a little about yourself. Where you from? What you little do?
My name Chris Baysmore. I'm from West Philadelphia, born and raised. I consider myself a landlord, a general contractor, a mentor, a leader of young men, basketball coach, and a father.
Yeah. Hey, man, listen, you got to follow him on the gram, man. You see it. Like, it's all, how some people post stuff and it's like really like fake. It's not really like that. No, I know he's about that. And before we continue, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel, okay? Shout out to my man Reg. We're back here in season 2. You already know he started the network. And then this is a genuine podcast, man. This is not for no cloud chasing. I'm not doing this for like the likes. Like, I don't got a YouTube flag. If it turns into it, it turns into it. But I really just enjoy good conversation, which, shout out to the Big Six. We call it building. We love building. It's not networking. I'm not asking you for something. We're just building off conversation. So let's get into it with the first question. So what actually got you into this? Like, what got you into, we both went to school, you graduated. What made you get into, let me get into real estate? Let me be a coach. What really got you into that?
So in regards to coaching, I mean, like, I guess, like, I always had a high IQ. Like, I played basketball up until high school. When I got to college, like, y'all know how it was. I fucked with y'all fucked with me. Like, we at the game, we mobbing out. Like, just that culture shit. Like, so, like, that's what got me into the coaching for real. In regards to real estate, like, when I was a young boy, my pop, he used to flip cribs with his homies. So I would walk in, they'll be banging hammers and all of that shit. And then, putting floors down, putting cabinets in. And I'm just like, oh, this is what my pop do. Like, my pop do this on the side. I fuck with it. Like, this is cool. And then, like, the older I got, I just, like, kind of became passionate and appreciative of a good kitchen or a good decor. And it's like, all right, cool. And then I want to say, when I got to college, my pop was like, yo, like, you about to have real bills. You need to invest in property so that, you able to offset some of these bills you're going to have. So he was telling me, like, you get a property, you're going to cash flow, $800 or so, and that could take care of your student loans when you graduate. Because he, like, I'm not about to be paying them shits forever or whatever the case may be. But that's how it started. And then, as I got into it and I started paying more attention to it, I started to learn ways to acquire real estate. So when I started learning different ways, it's like, all right, I just started writing down. And then when I felt comfortable to jump in the field, like, I just jumped in the field. And then fortunate enough for me, it happened like during, like, right before the pandemic, going into the pandemic. So, like, I was able to benefit from that. Like, a lot of money being thrown around, like a lot of stuff going on during that time that gave me the jump ahead to just go ahead and feel comfortable and do it.
Yeah, no, I love that. Yeah, I never knew that. That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's so important what, your parents do and, like, their, what's the word I'm looking for? Their influence on you, what you like, you know what I'm saying? Like, for example, like, I'm a Jets fan. Yeah, let's talk about, but, you know what I'm saying? I'm going to make sure my son's a Jets fan, and that will create, so you're doing with, real estate, So, we both went to college. How do you feel, honestly? How do you feel about college? Some people don't go, and you don't necessarily need a degree in your field, or did you have to take a class? Do you look back and be like, did I really waste 4 years of my life, or that 4 years of my life really helped me project?
So I would say, I I think parents early on should have that conversation with their kid about what do you want to do. Because, you know, when you, up until like ninth grade, all the boys want to go to the NFL. They want to rap. They want to go to the NBA. All the girls, you know, they want to be makeup artists. I would say the girl stuff is more realistic, but some of it, they get out of hand, but they all want to be pampered. So I would say as an adult, when you have children, you got to have that conversation with your child, and you got to make sure your child knows who they are and be sure that that's what they want to do. Like, listen, this is what you can get out of college. It's a great networking tool. If you want to become a nurse, you want to become a doctor, if you want to become a lawyer, if you want to become an FBI agent, things of that nature, you need to go to school to be able to do that. If you just somebody who don't want to work for nobody, then maybe college isn't for you. For me, college, I look at it as a gift and a curse. Like, my experience in college, I went to college because I felt like I was making everybody else happy. I didn't really have no purpose at college. Like, I never really knew what I wanted to be. So when I got to school, I picked up, you know, criminal justice. That's what I chose to study in. I tried to pursue some jobs in the criminal justice field, but it didn't go the way I wanted it to go. So therefore, going to school for criminal justice was a waste for me. However, I was able to network. I met a lot of people. So I'm a firm believer in, you know, the information being given to you may not be for you. It may be for you to give to someone else. So a lot of the stuff I learned in college, I'm able to pass off. A lot of the resources I obtained in college, I'm able to pass off. So I don't think it was a complete waste for me, but, you know, my purpose wasn't, you know, discovered until later on down the line. I would say a lot of the doors that have opened for me now started in college. You know, like me being able to come on this platform and, you know, fuck with y'all. Like, if I didn't go to college, I wouldn't have met y'all. Yeah. I might be stuck in West Philly where, you know, it's the same shit going on every day. You're in the same environment. Like, if you are like a fish in a fish tank, you're going to stay a small fish.
Right.
But if I throw you out in the ocean, you're going to expand. Now, you know, it's more of a risk out there, but at least you're not going to be stuck in this tight-knit community. You're going to be able to grow. So, like, that's how I kind of look at college. Like, I got away from my little fish tank, which is in West Philly. I went to a small college, Newman, you know.
Shout out to Newman.
But I met a lot of people up there. And, you know, to this day, like, some people are realtors. So, yo, Bays, I see you doing this. Like, cool, we can network. We can get into the housing market. Some people, you know, need their houses fixed. So, because I was able to get out and go and meet other people, you know, somebody I know just hit me up, like, not too long ago. They moved to a house, like, near Newman, and they was like, yo, like, I might need you to come check out my crib. I need a certain amount of work done. Like, if I didn't go to college, I wouldn't have ran into that person. So, like, networking, like, that's the main thing. So, if you don't know what you want to do, but you still want to go to college, like, you're going to learn a network. But just be sure about what you want to do. Like, that's what I would say about going to college.
Yeah. You know, I completely agree with you 100%, man. I think a lot of kids don't. It's a lot unknown. So when there's a lot unknown, that creates the fear, anxiety of, like, you know, what if I don't graduate? You know, what if I go to a party school? What if I go to school and I don't know anybody? And I feel like there's, like, a bigger picture. And like you said, you don't know if you would have been right here at this moment if you didn't go to college.
Right.
I feel like everyone's path is different. So it's not a knock if you go or don't go. It's about, like, you know, what is right for you. And like you attested, because I said, I feel like you're both sides, like, because you didn't really have to go to college to get to where you are now, but then, like, it helped.
College kind of, so, like, I'm gonna be transparent. Like, I didn't get a scholarship to go to Newman. I had, you know, a grant that they give everybody. Like, they gave whatever Newman grant. I got that grant, but I didn't get any extra additional assistance. Like, my financial aid, both my parents worked good jobs. Both my parents were married. So, like, it wasn't like, you know, I'm getting all this money to go to college. So I took a gamble on myself, and, you know, I acquired student loan debt. So how I'm able to offset the student loan debt is real estate, but that's a bill that you acquire when you go to college. So, like, you got to be sure. So I think my conversation with my son is going to be, listen, bro, if we an athlete, we're going to put all our eggs into the athlete basket, and we're going to try to get a athletic scholarship. But you got to be a student too. So yes, your grades got to be right. So we got to be able to get some money so that if you want to go to college, we don't got to come out of our pocket a lot of money. And then I'm going to also spend it to my son like, yo, like, if you don't want to go to college, this is the family business. This is how we do it. This is how we operate. One thing that I didn't learn in college was just how important it is to just start a business. Like, you don't have to have a skill set. You don't have to have nothing, but just start a business as something that you just knowledgeable in or passionate about. Because that business is going one day. It's the seed that you planted earlier, and one day it'll bloom. Like, if you go about it the right way. So listen, son. Like, yo, you don't got to go to college because we didn't get the academic scholarship or the athletic scholarship. But here's a LLC at the age of 18.
Right.
So you got an LLC at 18. I tell him, like, listen, you could work for me for 2 years, 3 years. Mm-hmm. Now, you know, we talking about credit. I'm having that conversation with my son. He's going to already know, but credit is important. So, you know, your credit good. You know, you got an aged LLC. Now it's time to get your own properties. Now we're going to ball. We're going to get you some money. We're going to get you some tenants. We're going to ball. Like, that's the conversation I'm going to have with my son. But, like, these parents just got to be more transparent. I feel like it'll save a lot of money.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And let's just, I guess, stick on your son. You mentioned your son. I love everything you're doing for your son. And that's just, like, I admire men that are good fathers, and that's just my deep, my trauma of, like, my father not being in my life, you know what I'm saying? And with that being said, how do you, like, balance? I know, like, you already telling me he got 30, so in the 30s of cribs, y'all.
With the doors,
Come on now, like, he's really doing this, and he's a coach. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, you gotta take your son to school, pick him up from school, after school activities, all this stuff. So how do you balance that lifestyle?
My family.
Okay.
Like, I got a support system.
Yeah.
So, you know, I try to get as many breaks as I can. I try to be at, you know, the important events with my son. I try to have my son around what I'm doing as well. Like, I try to, you know, keep him with me as much as possible, but my support system is crazy. Like, you know, like, I got people that's willing to watch him while I'm coaching. I got people that's, you know, the kids at the school, you know, if I bring him to the school, like, they show him love. So, like, he feel welcome. So he feel comfortable enough to be around. I try to do my real estate stuff during the day so that, you know, while he's in school, you know, by the time he get out of school, at least I can have time to hang out with him or whatever the case may be. But my family is my strongest support system. So that's how I'm able to balance it first and foremost. And then just scheduling, honestly, like, that's one thing I do need to get better at. Like, but, like, scheduling, like, because honestly, yesterday was a day. My son was supposed to go to school. But, you know, business kind of got in the way, and my personal life kind of got in the way. Right. It's crazy, but I overbooked my day, and it's like I was saying, scheduling is everything. Like, I got to get better with my scheduling. But if it wasn't for my support system, my day could have been, like, super duper low, super duper bad. But I made the most out of the day yesterday, honestly. Right. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Listen, that's the grind, man. Like, I couldn't even imagine because, like I said, my father wasn't in my life and he was retired. You know what I'm saying? So I really admire and, like, you owning up to, like, things you could do better. And I think that's one thing about you that I've definitely seen. Like, yeah, you graduated. Okay, now you're a coach. Oh, now you're in real estate. Now I got one crib. Now I got 30. And now you still trying to keep it going. Now to get my son involved.
Right.
And I think, like you said, just being more transparent. All right, and then listen, y'all. I know y'all see where we at. We on paint cans. I mean, the room not done.
We in the trenches, man.
Listen, the door is off the hinges, but y'all understand. This is your newest property right now, right?
No, I actually just acquired a vacant lot, which I'm going to put 4 units on, and a triplex with it. I got the vacant lot for $1 too. Okay. But yeah, like. So that's my newest property. I'm closing this one out, and I just closed out another duplex as well. So I try to keep, you know, 1 or 2 duplexes rolling and then a bigger project. So I got a couple unfinished projects, but this is the one that's going to be newly rehabbed.
Okay, cool. And so let's, I guess, get into some numbers, like some more logistics. Okay, so for example, this crib. What is step number 1? Like, I know you talk about the credit, but what are you getting first? That starts the process to get it rolling. So now you buying the crib.
First and foremost, credit. I think, like I was telling you how I got into it, like, my dad is the person who got me into it. So the way my dad would operate was, my dad was a saver. So he save his money, invest it, get his return back and some, go back out and do it again. I'm more of a newer school investor, so I leverage my credit. So first and foremost, your credit has to be good. So because, you know, I leverage my credit has to be good. So I can go to the bank and say, hey, you know, I got a score of a 730, 740. Anything over a 700 is suffice.
Okay.
So, you know, I got the 700 credit score. I have a property that I'm looking at. You don't really have to tell the bank that you're looking at a property. You could just say, hey, I'm a business and I need some working capital. So I start there. You know, the average person goes to work and whatever they working towards, they got to save towards it. I kind of reversed my thought process. So get good credit, obtain a large limit of credit,
Okay.
and then invest that credit to return you positive cash flow.
Okay. And you mean like loan or credit card?
So I don't typically recommend loans unless you're consolidating or you're about to make a for sure purchase that you know you're going to get the money back and you're going to be able to pay it off and avoid the crazy amount of interest. But my method is I use business lines of credit and low interest credit cards for acquisitions.
Okay.
Now, when I'm into the deals and I'm, you know, buying material, you like this door, the drywall, windows, floor, I'm using rewards cards. So I'm being rewarded for every dollar that I spend. Okay. And I'm also getting the money back because I deal with hard money lenders when I'm buying property. So how the hard money lenders work is when you start off, they probably willing to lend 80% of the acquisition price. So this house right here, I was able to get 90% because of my experience. You know, in 3 years, I did a certain amount of doors, which put me in a certain threshold where I can get 90% on my purchase and 100% on my rehab. So when I say 100% on my rehab, anything you see in here, I paid for it, but my lender reimbursed me. So I got 2 times the points for purchasing here. I got 1.5 times the points, or I might have got you know, $2 cash back on every dollar spent, like stuff like that. So any material that I buy, I use rewards cards. When I purchase properties, I'm using business lines of credit and low interest credit cards.
Okay. And then how much did this? What is it? What would you consider? This is a
duplex.
Duplex. How much did this go for?
So the numbers on this deal. So it's crazy because this is something different than what I normally do. Like I normally do full gut rehabs. So
I've seen.
I'll buy a property that's distressed, and then I'll go in there and I'll knock everything out. So like when it's distressed, it'd be like, you know, anywhere from $40,000 to $75,000.
Okay.
Sometimes a little bit more, but I'll go in and knock everything down, and I'll force the appreciation. This property was a bit different. So because the market is like getting a little bit oversaturated, you got to be able to pivot. So I would say for anybody that want to be an entrepreneur, one thing you need to know how to do is pivot. Like stuff only work for a certain amount of time.
Okay.
So what happened with this deal was I normally buy properties around here for $75,000, but this property was already a duplex. It didn't need much work. It needed the floor to be leveled, and then it just needed some cosmetic updating. So what I did with this property was I purchased it for $155,000. The after repair value in this neighborhood is $340,000. I got a couple duplexes down the street that appraised for the same thing. So when I purchased this, I already knew that my ARV was $340,000. So something that I learned at school is how you calculate. So I mean, school teaches you the basics, but once you get out there in that world, the formulas change. So the real estate formula is the 65% rule. So you start every deal off with the ARV. The ARV is the after repair value. So how much a property that was rehabbed and sold, how much did that property go for? So our ARV is $340 over here. I acquired this property for like $155,000. So how I did the deal was I multiplied 65% times the ARV. Okay. So 65% times $340,000 is like 270 something, maybe like maybe a little bit less than that. But when you multiply 65% times your ARV, that's how much money you have to acquire the property and rehab the property.
Okay.
So I was given 90% of $155,000 to purchase this.
Right.
I had to bring the other 10% to the closing table.
Okay.
And then they gave me 100% on the rehab. Now they didn't just give me a check for $70,000. They said you got to put your money out first, and we'll reimburse you. So what I did here was a cosmetic rehab. I didn't knock everything out. I knocked some things out, and I upgraded some things. Instead of getting rid of everything and bringing in all new stuff, I just upgraded certain stuff. And then it didn't have recessed lighting and ceiling fans. I installed that. Didn't have a closet in here, put a new closet in. And then the kitchen appliances, I put all new stainless steel appliances in, iron rails, stuff like that. Just I kept it basic, but you know, it's better than what it was. So I forced the appreciation. So back to the math. After you force the appreciation, you go back to the rules. So when you're refinancing a property or you flipping a property, that's how you get your return on investment. So because I'm a landlord and I keep everything, I refinance my property. So you know how I was saying the 65% rule?
Yeah.
When you refi, it's the 75 to 80% rule. So you go to the bank, you tell the bank, it could be a lender, a bank, whatever, but you tell them like, listen, I rehabbed this property, I forced the appreciation. This house looks the same. This house just sold for $340. So my house is in the same condition as the house that went for $340.
Okay.
So can y'all give me 75 to 80% of the property value? They're going to say, what's your credentials? You know, give me a business. What does your business do? How long your business been in order? I need some business bank statements. Some of them, not all of them, need business bank statements. Once you get through all of that stuff, the bank is going to say, all right, we're going to give you a check for 75 to 80% of what the ARV is. So when I get that check, I take the first part of the check and I pay off that 65%. So remember, the lender gave me 90% on the purchase and then 100% on the rehab. I pay them back. Remember, that's the 65% rule. So hold 10% gap because I'm refinancing. So that 10% that's left, some of it I pay myself back because remember, I had to come out of pocket with 10%.
As you
So I
should.
put 10% back in my pocket, and then the rest of the money that's remaining is a loan technically, but it's a mortgage. So if, let's just say I push the equity up and my refi was 340 and I'm able to pull 270 out of the 340, right? Or 275 out of the 340. I got to pay 225 off because that's how much I borrowed and, you know, put into it. But now that difference, I could put that in my pocket, right?
Okay.
Now I could go buy more real estate. I could go invest elsewhere, but I got a lump sum of money in between. I don't even have to take it all. Me personally, as long as my rents are going to exceed my mortgage, I take the cash. Take the cash, I go and invest more real estate or, you know, just invest somewhere else. But that cash can be anywhere from 10, 20, 30, 40. The highest I've seen was a $55,000 check off of a refinance. I had some other deals where, you know, I paid off properties free and clear and I refinanced them again. I think the biggest check that I might have seen on a refinance, like on one of those properties, was like $144,000. So, like refinancing is a loan, but as long as your cash flow is going to exceed the amount of a loan, go for it. And it's untaxed. You can't tax a loan. I can't pay taxes on money that I'm borrowing. But if somebody's paying me more than I'm owing, I got a little bit of cash flow. So I don't mind giving the numbers on this. So my mortgage on this property is probably going to be roughly $1,900. We're in a 2-bedroom unit right now. I'm going to be renting this for anywhere between $1,700 and $1,800. Section 8. My downstairs unit is a 1-bedroom. I'm looking for anywhere from $1,400 to $1,550. So if you put those two numbers together, you're going to end up with like $3,200. Deduct the mortgage, my cash flow would be like $1,000. So, you know, that's the game. Just keep repeating it.
Now, you mentioned Section 8. I've heard many people do that. How would you get a property on Section 8? Because that's the government money, right?
Yeah, it's the government. You're on the government payroll when you get a Section 8 tenant. So what you have to do in Philadelphia is you got to go to a class. So it's that the HCV or PHA you go on the website. They tell you every Wednesday we have a class at 2013 Ridge Avenue. Be there by 5 o'clock. So if you're not there at 5 o'clock, you won't get in. All the people that get in, you know, they give you a list of instructions that you got to do, and then they have a virtual class. You take 2 classes, and then you're Section 8 certified. Once you Section 8 certified, all you need is a rental license, and you can put your property on Section 8. And then, you know, anybody that got a voucher is able to rent from you, and you able to rent to anybody with a voucher.
Yeah, because I've heard that's like I don't even want to say the word easier, but like I said, the government is paying most of the rent. Obviously, you don't have to really worry about your tenants as much.
So like, I mean, right now I get a lot of traffic because people see what I do. So, you know, people always want to move in somewhere. People always looking for housing, and I'm like, listen, like, excuse me if I'm coming off a certain way, but you know, we were in a recession, damn near, or you know, whatever you want to call it. COVID happened. If I was to deal with somebody who worked a 9 to 5 and was responsible for 100% of their rent, the way I make my money is based on you paying your bills. If you somebody that can't pay your bills because you lost your job for whatever the case may have been, it's unfortunate. But I still got to feed my family. I still got to make my money. So that's why I only deal with, you know, subsidized housing. So Section 8 will be like, listen, this person doesn't work at all. We're going to pay 100% of their rent. What do you want? This is what we're willing to give you. What do you want? That's how that conversation goes. It also goes like this. This person works part-time. We're willing to pay 85% of their rent. They are responsible for, you know, 15%. So things of that nature. Like, that's how it goes. And it's typically 70% to 100% that Section 8 will pay, though.
Right, and that definitely holds it down because, like you said, you're not really dealing with just people per se. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm guessing if they don't pay their rent or they're portion at 30%, then the government comes in and takes care of the business because you report it, right?
The government, some programs, the government gets involved and picks up what they missed off. But there's some cases where you have to evict them. So, like, you know, if they're responsible for 30%, then and they're not paying it, Section 8 may say, well, you know what, we're not going to pick up that 30%, so you're going to have to follow up with the eviction process. I'm actually going through an eviction right now. Yeah, so it's not Section 8, though. It's another program. I won't put their name out there, but real bad tenant. Tenant doesn't follow the program rules. Tenant is a slob in my apartment, and he's causing havoc to the other tenants throughout the building. So his program informed me that they will no longer be paying for him. Right. And if you're no longer paying for him, he can't no longer stay here, so he got to go. Yeah. That's pretty much.
And then you just basically reach out to him, and if he's not following that, then you go.
Then I got to go and get the sheriffs involved, and you go through all this extra stuff.
Yeah, that's wild. That's crazy. Yeah. And you said you had how many properties again?
Over 30.
Over 30, okay. Yeah, I was wondering how you maintained all that because that seems like a lot of work. Yeah, but like you said, so are all your properties on Section 8 or is it just like?
No, I mean, I deal with multiple programs. So it's like I have a list where it's like 15 different subsidized housing programs that, you know, they all pay 70 to 100% of the rent. So Section 8 is always going to be around. I would say those other programs, they come and go. It's all predicated on funding for them. Like, you know, they're nonprofit organizations for the most part. So they may only be around for 2 years and then the contract could be up. So, yeah, Section 8 is, I would say, is the most consistent money, though.
Okay. And I guess you talked a little bit about your father, but is there anybody else in your life that really like put you on? Like people, I forgot his name. I always see you with him. Oh my goodness, what's his name? I think y'all related actually. You just took a picture. You just bought a crib for him.
Anthony Lee.
Yes. Okay.
So
Ant to Newman, right?
Ant went to Newman. Yeah. Ant went to West Catholic too.
Okay.
And then Ant's brother and I, we like real cool. So like, it's always made sense that at some point in time we was going to connect. But Anthony was one of my first people that I consider like a mentor. Like, he's a realtor, awesome dad. He's into basketball. We into the same stuff. So, you know, it just always made sense. And he was older than me. So I kind of was able to listen to him because anything that I'm about to go through or going through, he's probably been through it. So I would consider him like one of my first mentors. Other mentors, Honestly, some of my friends are mentors. Like, just seeing what they do in they lane inspire me to, be the best me in my lane. Like, mentors off the top of my head, that's really all I can really think about, honestly. Cause like I kind of take mentorship serious. Like, I want to be able to count on you. Yeah. And if I can't count on you, I can't really consider you a mentor. Like people come and go. People teach you things, dip off. I might learn something from you. You might learn something from me. But if I can't call you and I really need you to teach me to do some stuff that I know you know how to do, can't really consider you a mentor. So I would say Anthony has been consistent in my life in regards to being a mentor. So
shout out to Anthony, man. That's thorough, man. That's thorough. And like you
then
said,
you got those basketball coaches too that I would like my high school coaches. I still talk to them. I consider them mentors in the high school basketball realm. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Okay, and then like you said, it goes from college to Anthony went to the same college as you. It's all about then you talked about your friends. I think your circle is huge. I feel like it's like so important. Like I'm only doing certain things because my friends are doing it, and it could be a good thing, could be a bad thing.
Yeah, friends will make or break you. Like if you around 10 guys and they all doing productive things, they hold you accountable. You can't be the 11th guy and be on BS. You're gonna be the 11th guy in line doing the right thing. If you hang out with 10 guys that's not doing anything, how easy is it for you doing something positive to motivate them 10 guys? Yeah. Super duper hard. You're gonna break yourself trying to build them up. So your friends make or break you, honestly. And it's like I had to learn to leave certain people in certain places. And it's not like I'm better than you or you better than me. It's just like we just not on the same type time, and I hope your time work for you, but I gotta value my time and do what works for me. So I had to leave some people where they was at. Like as I got older, like I would say we outgrew each other. I didn't outgrow them, like we outgrew each other, but like I would say like your friends can make or break you, who you are as a person.
No, definitely for sure. Just telling you what you're doing wrong, what you could be doing, or like you said, just y'all not doing nothing, I'm not doing nothing. Right. And I'm not even realizing what I'm doing is the wrong thing. I guess my next question would be like, what is the next goal for you? Or am I going to see you like opening up a huge property where it's like, like all these apartments, like, like they got like the Popular and stuff like that? Or are you didn't talk about flipping cribs. You know what I'm saying? Is that maybe a possibility where it's like, all right, this property's getting too much. I need to get rid of it. Let me start flipping. So like I said earlier, like pivoting, you got to know how to pivot. Situations occur, Oh, man. Look, we in real time, man. They downstairs working right now.
Is that Marvin? Oh, man. I don't know who that is. We got it right.
Yeah.
Who that? That's Marvin?
Hey, what's up?
What's good, Marvin?
We in here shooting some content.
Look, he's dabbing up the minute. What's going on? Working, man. What's up, guy?
Oh, you making music?
But yeah, man. What was he saying?
We were talking about like the next 5 years. What's the next step for you?
I think so it kind of like I'm about to be 30 years old. I'm kind of just identifying my purpose. Next for me, honestly, is I'm going to kind of start mixing everything together. So I've been coaching at West Catholic for the last 4 years. I came in with a group. It's funny because we talking about college. Like, y'all both play for Newman. Darnell Artis is on the West Catholic staff. Yep. Y'all used to have it out with him. Yeah. So, like, how I am about that shit. Like, I'm on y'all side. So it's like, but no, like, Deej cool. But Deej went back on the road to do the Globetrotter. Yeah. And then I was fortunate enough to be in position to go ahead and do the JV basketball because he was a JV coach prior to me. So I developed a relationship with them kids. So them freshmen came in my first year, like they in year 4 now. So we just been through a lot together, like me and that group of freshmen. So I got a select few of them who I call them the campers. Yeah. So they always, you know, getting in trouble in the classroom or just got attitude problems or, you know, just giving people a hard way to go. And it's like, I see something in them that they don't see in themselves. So I kind of took them young boys under the wing. And, you know, some of them not at West Catholic anymore. Some of them still at West Catholic. But, like, my goal has been to make them positive young men.
Right.
If this what we doing, this is what we doing. If we going to college, we going hard. In academics, we going hard on the court. I got one young boy, my main, like, he not my main young boy, but, like, I talk to him the most because he's still at the school. Yeah. He don't want to go to college. He wants to do trucking. All right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to get you an LLC. Yep. We're going to do the trucking. Yeah. All right, any resources I got that can help you with trucking, you got them. This is what we on. So I think within the next 5 years, you're going to see me in that more so mentoring phase. So something that mean a lot to me is helping young black men succeed. Like, it's fulfilling to me. Like, just because I grew up in a neighborhood where it wasn't a lot of positive black role models. So, like, I want to be that for other youngins growing up. So you'll see me mentoring a lot more. You'll see me, like, with the young boys a lot more too. Like, just try and keep them out the way, and then, you know, make sure, like, where we didn't have that person to, you know, put the podcast in our hand earlier on, or, you know, put the real estate in our hands earlier on. I want to put that, like, all that opportunity in their hands at 18, not at 23. Like, that's 5 years wasted. Like, let's just do it earlier, you know? And if college is what it is, that's what it's going to be. But my business is Imperial Holdings. So I started Imperial Holdings in 2020. We going on year 5. So January 1st would be year 5. So 5 years ago, my mission statement was, Imperial means at risk. So I wanted to be able to use what I learned throughout college and just being out in the field, like, to give back to those people at risk, those people that don't have access or think things is too complex, or, you know, like, I'm gonna dumb it down for you so that you can eat, you can succeed. So that's what Imperial Holdings is all about, like, empowering the at risk.
Man, I love this, man. Listen, because I don't think you understand. I know this man in college. I think you beat us in the intramurals game.
We won the chip. Yeah.
I ain't gonna say you were not.
We had some good wars.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Even in pickup, like, we had some good wars. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. Like, the way that I met y'all probably wasn't ideal, but like, we had it out. But it was worth it though, because we here now. You feel me?
You thorough, bro. Like, as I said, if someone would have told me in college, yo, Baysmore, we doing this,
you wouldn't believe it. I was a loud young boy, reckless young boy, disrespectful young boy. But y'all was thorough though. Like, that's one thing I gotta give it. Like, y'all could have been like, fuck him, like, he's a nut. But, like, no, like, y'all kept it thorough. And, like, I talked to y'all here and there, and you know, it's all love every time we run into each other. Like, you mean?
Yeah, nah, man. And it's out of respect. I think some people don't understand that. You might call somebody, like, corny or whatever it is, but if they are consistent, so, like, you said you was a loud young bull talking shit to us, but I was like, yo, he's not switching up. He at the game. Talking to the other team, he's playing against us. He's talking to us like that. We in the cafeteria sometimes. Sports come up,
competitive.
You gotta respect it. And like, and we talk about a lot of the success. Like, you talk about checks you getting. You know, what was some of your darker days, man? Do you even have any? Like,
I got a lot of dark days.
Give me one that you really remember. You're like, I know you learned, but this one is like, I'm never doing this again. I can't.
Never doing this. So, I got a handful of stories, cause I done been through a lot, but I would say a dark day for me. I'm gonna just break it down. I'm gonna be like real short about it. Moving too fast.
Okay, yeah.
So you know, get this big check, and it's like, hey, you got it. What you gonna do with it? And it's like, yo, like, my first big check, I went and bought, like, I want to say 1, 2, 3, 4.
You about to say something crazy.
I went and bought like 6 or 7 doors at a time.
Okay.
And this is when I first started. So at this time, I probably had, I want to say 5 or 6 doors under my belt. But I had just refinanced the property, and I had pretty much like had a lot of money. So I'm like, let's go ball. So moving too fast, me having all this money, oh, you can afford it, go buy it.
Right.
But now you got to fix it up.
Yep.
So one of the early hurdles I ran into is I had, 7, 8 jobs open.
Right.
And nobody inside the house. So you got a mortgage for that. 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 And you got a mortgage for that. So I had a bunch of mortgages with no income.
Right.
So it showed me how to run my numbers better. Yeah. It showed me how to become a general contractor, which opened up another stream of income for me. And it showed me, like, listen, like, it's not always going to be sweet. Like, people might see me and, they might think, oh, he got 30 doors. Oh, he make a lot of money. And it's like, no, like, I still got responsibilities too. Yeah. Like, the more money you make, the more responsibilities you're going to have because it's going to naturally come. And it's like, don't forget when, people be out there pocket watching, don't forget that, I'm a dad too. Yep. I'm a mentor. Like, it's a lot of responsibilities attached to me. So I might look like I got it figured out, but sometimes I'm trying to figure it out just as much as the average person is on the street, So, yeah, but that's that.
Yeah, adversity, man. I think adversity makes
Don't let nobody rush you. Just take your own time, run your own race at your own pace. Don't let nobody rush you. Don't let no amount of money take you out your character or make you do something that you're not comfortable with doing, and just keep it simple. Like, that's been my advice, like, everywhere lately. Like, just keep it simple.
Yeah, keep it simple. Less is more. Less is more a lot of the times. And like I said, adversity, I feel like it just makes or breaks you. It got you where you are today. You know what I'm saying? We talk about the Eagles, no offense, but the Eagles lost the Super Bowl.
I ain't even one of them. I don't like them boys either.
Who you like?
I like the New York Giants.
Oh, okay. I like the Jets. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. But that year, you remember they lost to Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl, right? And they was killing all year. And I literally said, it's adversity why the Chiefs won that Super Bowl. The beginning of the year, people wasn't catching the ball, all this type of stuff. Everybody had them like the underdog. And same thing for the Eagles before that when they won the Super Bowl. Everybody thought they weren't going to win.
Right.
So I feel like adversity, you have to go through something in life.
Adversity builds character.
Absolutely. It's so important, man. Everybody trying to be the same person, trying to pick it out. No, like, what's your morals? What do you stand on? And I think with you, and that's what I respect about you. And I feel like a lot of people, especially not even just in Philly, but forget, like, what do they stand on? Right. Like, yeah, you got bread, but how you getting the bread? Oh, you just scamming? Right. Or you just doing this? Right. Or you robbing?
Gotta have principles.
Come on now.
Yeah.
It's like super important. And that's basically like I said, why I respect you. And so we talked about this property going right now. Like I said, y'all, like, look what's going on. Like, and this is a person that he already said he's one of y'all, people watching. He was you at one point. He had friends he had to leave behind. You know what I'm saying? Like, they say, yo, money going to change you. I mean, yeah, it's going to change you. You got to move.
It's going to change the people around you too, though.
Come on now.
It's going to change the people
It's putting
around
you in different rooms. I'm pretty sure you in rooms you never thought you could be in. You know what I'm saying? I guess I might, because if we could go back in time, like we go back in time, we catch you in high school. What's something you might want to tell yourself, or like, what advice would you give your younger self? What would you give your younger self in preparation for what's about to come? Like, nothing's going to change, like Back to the Future, like a messed up time. No. Right. You go back in time, talk to yourself. What would you tell yourself? Like,
I would tell myself to be humble. I would tell myself, don't bite the cheese.
Okay.
Don't fall accustomed to what's going on around you. Like, be yourself, keep it simple, and be open. Yeah. That's what I would tell myself, because 14-year-old me wanted to go to the NBA.
Right. Didn't we all?
15-year-old me was like, all right, I ain't growing. I just want to go D1. 16-year-old me was like, all right, you still on JV, nigga. You ain't going nowhere. Sit your dumb ass down. And then it's like 17 hit, and it's like, all right, your recruitment ain't going crazy. Now I'm panicking. Like, I don't really know what to do. And then 18-year-old me was just like, no, like, hearing things. I'm just going, that's how I ended up at Newman, just rushing. Like, heard something, end up applying. It was halfway true, followed through with it. Yeah. Wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but it turned out. Yeah. It still turned out good. So I would tell younger me, be humble. Don't eat the cheese. Keep it simple. and be open-minded.
Yeah, I love that. I love that advice, man. Because I think we all want to go back in time, to kind of redo things, but we can't. So that's why I asked you that question. What would you give yourself advice? Nothing's going to change, but what can I know to prepare myself for that? I like, and I say you're very interesting because, like I said, you're a coach as well. You know what I'm saying? He just talked about pivoting, so we about to pivot a little bit. You coach right now.
Right.
What's something like you look at in today's young basketball? Like, I guess it's not real estate. We're talking about basketball. What do you tell the young bulls that might see maybe just your success and maybe like, I don't know, you know how they have dreams to go to NBA. Are there guys that you be like, listen, that's not happening. You could do what I'm doing, or you try to motivate them now, follow that dream until like, what's something like you talk to your young bulls about when it comes to like basketball wise?
When it comes to basketball, the whole staff is on the same type time, but it's like character.
Yeah.
Like, you can't be a good basketball player and be an asshole.
Yeah.
You can't be. It just don't work because at some point it's going to stop.
Yeah.
And you're going to be sick. You're going to look retarded. You can't be a good professional and be an asshole.
Yeah.
So character is something that, we big on. Body language, something we big on. That's just little stuff that I'm big on as a coach outside of basketball. Like, listen, young boy, like, no matter how far this ball take you, you're going to have to be able to look a man in his eyes, shake his hand, be respectful. You're going to have to be a teammate. It might not be basketball. Like, you might be the point guard of your business.
Yeah.
You might be running a show. It's your show, You might be a bench player on a team, or you might be a coworker somewhere.
Yeah.
You got to be a good teammate. You can't be an asshole. Like, being an asshole does not get rewarded on any level of life. So
Nowhere.
Character is like the biggest thing I am on with my like the kids I coach. Like, we can lose, but how do we respond when we lose?
Yeah.
We can win, but how we act when we win. Like, we gotta act the same. We gotta be professional. Like,
Absolutely.
That's just what it is.
Yeah. Okay, and then what do you see your team doing this year? Okay, like what is the goal? I know the goal is to win the chip, go to states, but what do you think your group can do this year?
I think this is year 4 for me. This group is special. We got multiple guys that can handle the ball. We got multiple tall guys that can rebound the ball and block shots. We got multiple guys that can defend. So my expectation for the group is to do the Triple Crown, something that's never been done in West Catholic history. Like, I think that we are going to win the championship. I think our head coach has been tested, battle tested.
Yeah.
I think it's time. I think our staff has been battle tested. We done been in, wars at the Final Four. We done been in wars in championships, and we lost. So, adversity. We've been through some adverse situations. I think as a staff, we probably faced the most adversity in the last 4 years than any other program. So I think we're equipped as a staff to go ahead and get the job done. As players, I think our staff is at a good phase of giving back knowledge now. Like, whereas though 4 years ago from now, like, my knowledge in basketball was good, but it wasn't as good. So, my advice in the short amount of time that I have to give to these players is more, just, I would say, it's just better advice. Like, so, and then the kids, like, coming in 4 years ago, we had 6'7", 6'7", 6'6", 6'6", 6'5", one ball handler. This team got multiple ball handlers.
Yeah.
That team had all that height. We got height still. That team really couldn't shoot as well.
Right.
But they were more talented.
Yeah.
This team can shoot the lights out of the ball. Defensive wise, I think like our defensive schemes, like we got enough to do what need to be done.
Yeah.
So I see us winning 3 championships, honestly.
Okay.
I might sound delusional now, but
nah, man. Let's Catholic here, man.
We leave it with something.
And we leave it with something.
We leave it with something.
No, that's real, man. And like I said, I'm not from Philly, but I definitely see like a lot of the talent going in and out. I see like the MO Techs, taking over, and I see you guys coming up. We talked about kids that I can experience with. Oh yeah, it's real, y'all. You heard the drills, y'all. We really hear y'all. This
they
not
putting
no
them countertops in now.
Come on, yeah, get it right. What's his name in there? Getting crazy.
Oh, my guy putting the countertops in. Mr. Cruz, call him Mr. Cruz. Got a whole little team.
All right, and then maybe we can stay with the basketball. something as because you're the assistant coach on the staff. What do you think your role? How does your role play a bigger part? You know, sometimes I know a lot of. Well, I don't know a lot, but I know assistant coaching can come with like jealousy of the head coach, or like, yo, why is he starting him? Why does he like this guy? I don't see the same vision. How do you like keep that maintained of your composure with like coaching?
So I would say with coaching, as an assistant coach, you just gotta like trust the head coach.
Yeah.
But the head coach also has to trust you. So one thing that I learned in 4 years is, you know, the conversations you have ain't the conversations that everybody else is having.
Right.
So when you do have your opportunity to converse, you know, you make sure it's just y'all two. Because, you know, we men. The older you get, pride is a real thing. If I tell him something that I don't like that he doing in front of the kids, how do that look?
Yeah.
If he do the same thing to me in front of the kids, how did that look? So I would say that's something that I learned though. But always just trust the process. Just trust what your head coach is doing, and you know whatever you feel as though needs to be tweaked, shoot it to him on a personal tip.
Yeah.
You know, not openly, because you know it's like telling a supervisor at a job like, "Yo, this ain't da 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 da." Like that can get you fired.
Yeah.
That can get you clipped. So you know, keep it professional, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, and that type of stuff is like a cancer. I feel like it just spreads because, like you said, you have kids listening to you check the head coach, and not even check. You have a different vision where they don't understand you are two grown men, so you can have a difficult conversation and y'all still be cool. Or like you said, it's between us. Yeah, we had a yellow match. Nobody knew about it. It was
Right.
me and the head coach or whoever it was, and we got through it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all had no idea about none of that. And my next question would be, we talked about the basketball. We talked about everything you're doing, like real estate and all that. I ask people a lot. Does money buy happiness? Do you believe money buys happiness? And I mean that in a sense, like, yeah, we talk about all the bread you got going on, but I feel like you're not really. That's not. You already told me like you're not trying to really. You just want a good living for your son. You're more about generational wealth. So, do you believe money has buy happiness? Like, are you happier since you've been doing what you've been doing? Do you think it was the money, or was it just?
Nah, I would say money buys you happiness. It does. Money buys you more problems though too. Money buys you more headaches. But it's like a balance though. Like some days I feel one way, other days I feel another. But the most important thing money has done for me is time. It bought me time.
Okay,
I would
I like
say
that.
like something important to me is being able to be in certain places at certain times.
Right.
So, if somebody going through something, because I'm able to, due to my time, I'm able to be there. So my son got a game, I could go to the game versus, somebody working 3 jobs just to make sure that their child have clothes on their back. Like, is the money really buying you time, or is, the money taking your time? Like working 3 jobs is time consuming.
Yes.
Finding 3 different streams of income, thinking about it, being smart about it, and not having to be there, buys you time. So money has bought me more time than happiness, I would say.
Okay, cool. And I guess one of the biggest things you keep reiterating is just like being humble. Okay, obviously you're consistent. You've been doing this for 3 years now. You got 30-some properties, and you do that with all realms. You know what I'm saying? You're not just humble with the real estate. You're humble with the coach staff. You're humble with your son. You're teaching him that. And go back to your son. So right now, how old is he?
He will be 7 in a month.
Okay, 7 in a month. He's obviously interested in sports, correct?
Yes, he likes basketball.
He likes basketball. That's the thing. So we sticking with that, and like you said, until he wants to do something new, we putting all our eggs in the basket like this.
We like when I say we putting our eggs into the athletic basket, it's just like if he want to be good at baseball, or if he just good at baseball, football, whatever you good at, we gonna make sure we get right.
Yeah.
We gonna make sure we go to this trainer for that. We gonna make sure we go to that trainer for that. We gonna do everything necessary in that field, and you got to do what you got to do as a student, so that when it's time to make that decision, like I want to go to college, I don't got to come out of my pocket with all this money.
Yeah.
Because, he might look at me like, Dad, you got all these houses. Like, I want to go to school, but I don't want to play basketball. Well, your grades got to be right, because I don't want to spend all this money on this, you know? So that conversation might come too. But, like, yes, like, the athletic basket, like we gonna put all our eggs in that too.
Now, I don't know if you faced this yet, but you have a coaching background and your son's on a team. Are you the dad to be like, yo, coach, what are you doing? Why are we not pushing the pace on offense when they setting up in zone? Like, you know.
I haven't even entered that phase, but I've entered. This is the phase that I'm in with him. So, time. I'm a coach. You would think that I work my son out or, take him to the park. And it's like, we can go to the park, play one-on-one, get shots up, stuff like that. But all the hard stuff, I'm hands off.
Okay, good.
Like he has trainers. Like he goes to a trainer. They work on dribbling. They work on shooting because he's more receptive to them. I'm just there for supervision. Like, yo, pay attention. Yo, listen to what he's saying. Yo, calm down. I'm not telling him, dribble this, dribble that. Like I try to keep away from the basketball and let the trainers be the professionals. Like this, I'm off right now. Y'all got it.
You already got enough going on, man.
Yep.
This is great, man. And like I said, I think one of my biggest things I told y'all before, this is a genuine podcast. I'm not doing this for the likes. I'm not doing this for the bread. There is no bread. I'm paying Reg. We come here. Literally, that's what's going on. I ain't paid Baysmore to do this. He's going out of his free time. Yeah, I would like to do this. And hopefully this can turn into something for a viewer watching. Either you thinking you can't do something and because you were in his situation, or you think you're too old, whatever it is. You know what I'm saying? But don't, like we talked about, don't waste your time. And I think this is a great way to start season 2. I mean, we're going to start doing a podcast every month. That is the goal this year. I know we talked about it before, but life be life and things be going on. But shout outs to Reg again for having us here. This is season 2. We are on the Playmaker Podcast Network. This is Pregame on Cloud Feek. This is episode 1 in season 2. Shout out to my man Baysmore. You got any more shout outs to anybody? You good?
Man. Shout out to the campers. That's my
campers.
Number one. Shout out to my family. And shout out to West Catholic and Newman University.
Hey, man.
None of this would be possible.
None of it.
Without any of those things happening. But that's probably pretty much. Shout out to y'all for having me on here, too. Like, I appreciate the opportunity.
We appreciate you here,
I could have had anybody on here, but y'all invited me, man.
Hey, man.
I feel great.
We pay credit where it's been due. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if you've been getting that gratification from other people, but we let you know we appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? You're showing the youth and you're doing your thing. And that will, I guess, so with that being said, that is the end of episode 1, and we'll be back next month. We out.